Hey folks, my name is Chris at HouseIt. We're filming here in lovely Miami, Florida. Today we're going to talk about a topic that we keep getting asked about, which is how do you verify square footage in Miami? Well, the process is pretty similar here in Miami-Dade County as in really any other county. I recommend first searching for Miami property search or any other similar keyword. You could do this similarly in New York City as well, but let's say you do Miami property search in Google. The first result that'll come up will most likely be the Miami-Dade Property Appraisers Office website. So if you go to that, you take a look, you can hit property search, and you'll pretty much be able to find public records on any property here in the city. Keep in mind one thing to note is if you recently purchased a property or if a property recently closed, it might take a month or 2 months or sometimes a little bit more for it to be reflected in in public records. So please be patient with that. But the best way to verify is essentially to first check yourself. So when you see a listing on any third-party website, be it like a Zillow, Realtor.com, wherever you find the listing, say it says 1,500 square feet. Well, that's nice. Of course, you can take a look at the property yourself in person and kind of gauge it, but don't take what people tell you, their word for it. Essentially, it's always important, regardless of the market you're in, to trust but verify. So the first line of defense is to do that search we talked about. Go to the property appraiser's website or equivalent website for whichever county you're in and take a look and see what property records say. So here in Miami-Dade, you'll see a square footage listed or multiple sometimes, especially if you're buying a single family house, some real freestanding property. You'll often see a lot size number as well in addition to square footage. But if you're purchasing a condo or a co-op, you typically just see that square footage, and that's meant to indicate the interior square footage. So that is, perhaps the most important indicator. So first line of defense, take a look at that. See if it matches what the listing agent is telling you, what's listed online. If there's a discrepancy, don't be shy about asking the seller's agent or the seller for why that discrepancy is. And you'd be surprised again about all of the excuses we've heard from various different listing agents. For example, here in Valparaiso, we have a client looking to purchase a '06 corner unit in this new construction building in Edgewater. We know all of the lines have similar floor plans for the most part below the penthouse levels. And there was, one unit that had about 200 square footage more of space listed versus another one that, any other '06 line. And it's really quite odd. So our client asked us about it. And, the first thing we did was, well, let's check what the public records say. And we checked, and public records said it was about 200 square foot less. And actually the square footage they gave was exactly what was used by other more scrupulous listing agents. So that's an immediate red flag. And the next thing you do, of course, is to ask the listing agent what their excuse is for trying to market that way. And believe me, the excuses you will hear if you go through this process enough times can be quite numerous. I mean, we've heard, especially in the New York City market, we've heard listing agents say things such as, well, this is what the previous listing agent from 4 years ago used as their square footage, so we assume that's correct and we just use that. Or, the seller estimated this to be the square footage, or the seller told us this was the square footage and we just use that. So it really can vary. Sometimes you'll even hear people say, hey, well, listen, this square footage is an approximate. We're rounding to the nearest 1,000 square feet, which is why we used it. So again, we will caveat that, sure, in certain markets, especially like New York, the original offering plan will specify and will spell out how square footage is measured in that building. And newer construction buildings do tend to be a bit more aggressive. So they'll oftentimes count all the way to the exterior walls. They might count some common areas, some elevator space and such into your square footage number. So, the way square footage is counted admittedly can vary. Now, with that said, there's always one number in public records that is at least listed. So it is very important to find out why someone is listing it differently. So in summary, to verify square footage, of course, you can ask a listing agent, you can see what's listed on various third-party websites online, but it's important to verify yourself in public records because ultimately you have to think about it this way. Even if it's explained some way or that and you accept the explanation, you have to remember that when it comes time for you to sell, a few years down the road, you're going to have to go through that same process again. And if you use their enlarged square footage, for example, you're going to have to make the same explanation to a future buyer and hope that they accept it. So there you have it. We hope you found this video helpful. My name is Chris at Houseit here in Miami, Florida. We operate in New York and Florida. So in New York, we cover New York City, the Hudson Valley, and Long Island. In Miami, we recently opened and we cover all of Southeast Florida. From Miami-Dade County, where we're headquartered, Broward County, Palm Beach County, Martin, and St. Lucie counties. We can help you save up to all 6% in broker commission with a agent-assisted FSBO when you sell, or our 1% full-service listing option. And when you buy, we can help you save 2% or more through our buyer closing credit program. Shoot us a note if you're interested. You can also go to houseit.com. That's HAUSEIT.com to learn more. Sign up for a time to speak with one of our team members. We'd love to help you. Again, my name is Chris at Houseit, and we'll see you on the next one.